IT.
You're in IT?
Yeah.
Okay, and how long have you been working there?
I don't know, 13 years?
13 years. And how much, what do you make there?
70?
70,000? Now, is that all the money you want to make?
No.
No? How much more do you want to make?
I don't know. Just more than what I'm making right now.
Well, how much more? What would make you happy?
Like $1 million.
$1 million? But what's realistic? What would you really feel good?
Like 100,000.
So if you made like an extra 30,000 would make you feel happy.
Yeah, yeah.
So Dave, I understand that we're on commission and it's not guaranteed. But what if you kept your job? You have your guarantee, right? Because you want a guarantee, right?
Yeah.
Guarantee of 70,000. But what if on a part-time basis with me, you made an extra 1,000 to 3,000 a month, and I got you closer to that 100? Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah, but see, that's still guaranteed. It's 30,000, right?
Oh, it's not guaranteed at 30,000. But even if you made 10 or 15, isn't it halfway your goal?
Yeah.
Because right now, without doing anything else, what are you guaranteed?
Nothing.
Zero. So isn't it better, at least my guarantee?
I guess
To at least explore it?
Yeah.
So let's explore it.
See, I'm trying to come up with something. It's just. Carlos, what is this all about?
What do you mean, what is this all about?
Like,
he hasn't seen it, we haven't called
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So you're calling somebody?
You're calling, or you're talking to your friend, and you know the friend just goes, so tell me, what is this all about?
Well, Dave, you know what it is, basically is this. And now Dave, I'm going to use Dave as my example. Dave's in his early 30s, single guy, maybe thinking of getting married pretty soon, etc. Dave, basically what I do is this. I sit down with people that are really maybe in the early 30s to mid-30s that are maybe working in the corporate world, but they're not sure if that job's going to be there for some time. Would you agree? It's kind of scary lately.
Yeah.
Well, I sit with those kind of people and I help them come on board on a training program with us to eventually help us run and develop offices and make a six-figure income. I also sit with those kind of people and show them how to maybe prepare to get married, save for their wedding, save for their future, and save for their homes. You know, do you think those two things are important?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if I can show you how to do it with some people, wouldn't that be of interest to you?
Possibly.
Right, because you're in your 30s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you probably also know guys that are in their 30s.
Right.
And there's probably people that I got to help out.
Right.
But what if you came with me and saved some money and you made some money?
Doesn't sound bad.
Okay, well that's basically what we do.
Okay.
So again, I'm going to tie into him. Like with Coach, I would tie into, hey, people that are retiring looking for something. I always like tying it into the person versus its financial services and that. I want to tie it into them so it hits home a little bit.
So I took a look at the opportunity, but I don't know a lot of people.
You say you don't know a lot of people, do you?
Yeah, I don't know a lot of people.
How many people do you know?
Just a few people. I don't really have a lot of friends here.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You have a cell phone?
Yeah.
What kind of cell phone you have? Let me see.
I have a,
Oh, you have an iPad?
Yeah.
iPhone, I mean?
yeah.
How many numbers do you give on the iPhone?
I don't know, maybe like 40.
40 numbers on your iPhone? Let me see.
Yeah.
I would beg to differ. I would think you have more than 40.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Maybe like a few hundred.
Something like that.
So you know some people.
Well,
so how could you not know people when they're on your phone?
They wouldn't be interested.
Oh, so you think that. See, so Dave, what you're saying is, not that you don't know people, you don't know who'd be interested. Is that what you're basically saying?
Yeah, I mean, they got good jobs and stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Well, Dave, listen, I understand what you're saying, but let me give you a quick analogy or a quick example of something. There's a guy in the company named Mark Marchesani who makes $1 million today. His friend Howard Lasser joined before him, and Howard makes $600,000 with us. But Howard didn't call Mark because he thought Mark was okay, he was good, he would not be interested in this. Because Howard didn't speak to Mark and somebody else recruited Mark, he lost $500,000. What if one of your friends is that Mark? Would you want to capitalize or lose like Howard?
Capitalize.
So why not explore the opportunity? What if Howard's on your list? And I teach you how to find them.
Okay.
Explore it.
True.
Nice.
What?
Isn't this like one of those pyramid?
Is this one of those pyramids?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, David?
You know, like those like the Amway companies and stuff.
Well, I don't know what Amway is.
Okay. You know, like those pyramid things, network marketing.
What do you mean, like Egypt?
No, like network marketing. You know, there's like all those people that recruit people.
Well, I'm still confused. Cause you where do you work?
I work at the Microsoft. Yeah.
Don't they have a human resource department?
Yeah.
Don't they recruit?
It's not the same thing.
I don't understand what you're saying, Dave. So maybe what you're trying to say is that you're saying we make money off people. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. You work at Microsoft?
Yeah.
Who owns Microsoft? Bill Gates, right?
Yeah.
He makes a lot of money, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Have you ever personally met Bill?
No.
Doesn't he make money off you? I mean, he makes money off your work, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And what do you make off him?
Well, I get a salary at least. Yeah.
Okay, but do you make any money off him?
No.
But he makes money off you. And what about the guy that sits next to you? Does he make money off that guy that sits next to you in your cubicle?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you make money off that guy that sits next to you in the cubicle?
No.
See, our system is a little bit better though. See, right now you can come on board with us, and just like Microsoft makes money off you, which is the same exact thing, I give you the opportunity to work with us and you develop people and be like Bill Gates. Would you want to be Bill Gates or work for Bill Gates?
I guess be like Bill Gates.
Well, I can show you how to do that except it's financial services. So if I can try to become Bill Gates in financial services, would you be interested in that?
I guess so.
Alright, so maybe we need to sit and go over further more information.
He's actually making me feel kind of silly
Sorry.
for asking that question. But honestly, most people that ask that question, Pyramid, I don't really think that they really know what that objection is for themselves.
They don't never know how to explain the pyramid, ever. They're like, well, you know what I mean. No, I don't. Amway, what's Amway? Quickstar, what's Quickstar? I don't know, explain to me.
I need to check with my husband or wife.
So there's someone that
My
sat
wife.
through the op meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to check with your wife?
Yeah.
Awesome, David. Actually, I prefer that, to be honest with you. I prefer that you check with your wife, because you're going to go home excited tonight, and if you come on board with, listen, if I get you to come on board with me tonight, you're going to be excited, and you go home, tell your wife you're going to make $1 million, and she's going to kick you out of the house or make you sleep on the couch. And I really don't want to do that. But if you go explain it to her, do you think you can do the presentation we did?
I think I can do an okay job.
You think you can do it the way we did it?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
but
Do you think she's going to have some questions you might not be able to answer?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave, instead of you trying to answer, now let me ask you a question. Are you genuinely interested in what we do?
Yeah.
Do you like what you see?
Sounds pretty good, yeah.
What I'd rather do is this. Instead of you going home and trying to explain it to her, let's set up a time to get together with her. Let's grab 30 minutes with the both of you and let me explain it, so that way we don't mess it up and screw it up. Is that fair?
Okay.
All right, so let's give her a call right now and set that up.
Okay.
All right, then pick up the phone and set up the appointment.
I think the important thing that we should emphasize on that is he's taking control of the situation. A lot of people, what they say is, why don't you go home and talk to your wife and set that appointment up?
Let me know.
Yeah, and let me know. Get back to me when you guys are available. And then you call them and they don't pick up. You're like, what happened? It's because I had a conversation with my wife and I couldn't explain even to set up the appointment. Right? This is I mean, you get this from a lot of T's, technical people. I want to check you guys out first.
You want to do some research, Dave? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. What kind of research do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll ask around and I'll do some research on the internet.
Now, what kind of people would you ask around?
Just friends. I'll ask my uncle. Yeah,
What's your uncle do for a living?
he's an accountant.
He's an accountant, so
Yeah.
you consider him as a smart person?
Yeah.
So you would go based on someone that's smart, is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of experience. He's, he knows about things like this.
Okay, awesome. Well, Dave, I definitely appreciate that, but just so you know, let's take a little recap. We talked about some of the people that invested into our company. Do you know who Warburg and Pincus is?
Not really.
Okay, I mean, and your uncle's a smart guy, but Warburg and Pincus, they own a ton of stuff. Okay, they own Neiman Marcus. Do you know the store Neiman Marcus?
Yeah.
Is that a pretty nice store?
Yeah.
I mean, would you successful people kind of buy stuff there?
Yeah.
Wealthy people, right? So the guys that own Neiman Marcus invested $230 million into Primerica, and there's another $100 million they're going to invest. Do you think they researched us before they did that?
I guess so.
Do you think they're pretty smart?
Yeah.
Okay, have you heard of Ron Barron?
No.
He's the 400 richest guy in America. So do you think he's smart? Do you think he's smarter than me and you?
Yeah.
Do you think he's smarter than your uncle?
Yeah.
I mean, probably, right?
Yeah.
So if he's the 400 richest guy in America and he invested millions of dollars, do you think he researched us?
Probably.
Do you understand what an IPO is?
Not really. I'm not good with this finance stuff.
Okay, well, an IPO means your initial public offering. That means you're going to go on the New York Stock Exchange. That's like 3 years of lawyers, FINRA, SEC, you name it, researching, looking at our books and making sure everything is right. So do you think they had to research us before they did that?
Absolutely.
I mean, do you think they'd approve any company on New York Stock Exchange?
They wouldn't.
So, just honestly, when you tell me research, you're kind of offending me, to be honest with you. What research do you think you're going to do that you're going to find that the richest guys in America couldn't get their lawyers to find?
No, no, I know, I'm sure you guys are for real. It's just, I want to, that's just my process. I have to kind of, feel comfortable. I want to look into it a little bit more, find out a little bit more about you guys,
So basically what you're saying is it that you want to find more about us, or is that you don't know if you can do it?
I want to find out more about you guys.
Well, how much more do you want to find out?
I don't know, just to get more information.
Well, give me exactly what you want.
I want to look into the company, what you guys do, and things like that. Yeah.
Well, how are you going to look into it if you don't do it? I think what you're saying is more information. I don't know. I mean, you're in the New York Stock Exchange. You can get our friggin' our books, right? But I think what you're saying is you're not sure if you can do it. But if you're not sure if you can do it, you're never going to find that out unless I give you more information myself. Because if you go online, what are you going to get? The same exact presentation I showed you, basically. Is that really going to give you more information? And are you going to go based on what someone's saying or based on how you do? Because let's just say your uncle says this is no good. Is that going to stop you from doing it? Probably, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
So you're a follower, not a leader? Just because, yes, my friends told me I couldn't do this, and they told me I shouldn't do this. My friends park cars at the mall right now. I make $200 grand. And I thought my friends were smart. Imagine I would listen to them. So why don't we get together for 30, 40 minutes, jot down all the questions you have, David. Promise you I can answer any question you have. Jot them all down. Let's grab 30 or 40 minutes, and then if I answer all your questions and everything makes sense, we'll get you started. Is that fair?
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's do that. The key is getting him back to at least come down, because he's going to ask Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
And it's not about research. How much more research are they going to do? We're an IPO. Like, that to me, the research one, I want to just like, just slap him.
Sounds good.
Like, I don't know what to say to some of these. All right, so those are the major pre-recruiting objections. Now we're going to get into objections that we'll start to get as you recruit people. So this is one of the common ones. Carlos, I want to wait until I get licensed before I go in the field.
So you said you want to wait till you get licensed before you go in the field?
Yeah.
Okay, great, Dave. I understand what you're saying. But let me just question, Dave. I guess you didn't understand the bonus structure that we have. Right now, when you come on board, you have an extra $1,000 bonus you can get that I never could get. So let me ask you a question. Do you want the $1,000?
It's okay. I mean, if I make it, that's great. But I just want to figure this thing out before I,
And what makes you
go out.
think you're going to figure it out with a license? Dave, because what happens is this. If you go get licensed, you're going to sit in a class for 2 days. You're not going to get field trained. You're not going to know how to handle guests. You're not going to know how to do anything. So you're going to have a license and then say, okay, now what? Versus if I appoint you some successful people that actually get licensed and get field trained at the same time, what'll happen is this: we go out in the field, right? You put me in front of people, you're gonna know how life insurance works, which is gonna help you pass your test a little bit better and faster. You're gonna exactly know how mortgages work, how investments work, how everything works. You'll know how to present, okay? Plus, most likely, I'll get you between 10 to 40 referrals. By the way, $1,000 is better than if you wait to get licensed, because if you wait to get licensed, you'll be at 25%. On the average sale, you're going to make maybe about 250 to 300. Most likely more in the 250 to 150 range. If you do that times 4 sales, it's less than 1,000. I'm not a smart guy, I'm not a math genius, but isn't 1,000 better than no money, or $800, let's say, or 600?
Yeah.
And what would you rather have? Make 1,000 with experience, with teammates, 30, 40 referrals, or a license with no money, no experience, no referrals? Which one's better?
The first one.
So why don't we get you in the field then?
I just want to know what I'm talking about before I go
Well,
on.
the great thing about it, Dave, is you don't need to talk. See, I have a financial interest in it. It's kind of like this, David. The first day of law school, we put you in court. Do you think you'd do good?
No.
You'd suck, right?
Yeah.
So what if instead of doing that, you went to law school and then went to court with a professional lawyer and you sat right next to him and watched him handle the court? Do you think you'd get more experience?
Yeah.
By the way, if you went to law school, it cost you $100 grand just to learn. With those, it cost you nothing, and we give you $1,000 bonus. So which one's better?
Yeah.
So can you see what we need to get your field trained?
Okay.
Got it, let's go. And again, that sheet that Dave put together, hopefully we have it on virtual or Dropbox, whatever, that's a great sheet to show people the value of going out. Plus also, by the time they go out, they're independent. Versus some of you guys are licensed and you're still waiting for your leader's schedule. I don't know about you, but that sucks. My 4th appointment, I didn't need Keith anymore.
Do I have to come to every meeting?
You saying every training?
Yeah.
Well, Dave, let me ask you a question.
Because you said it's part-time, right? So
Absolutely, it's part-time, David. But let me ask you a question. Did you ever play any sports?
yeah,
What sports did you play?
basketball.
Basketball, were you pretty good at it?
Okay.
Okay, did you go to every practice?
Yeah,
Why?
because I had to.
Oh, you had to? Did you really have to, or you had to because you wanted to get better?
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to be on the team, I had to go to every practice. Yeah.
Okay, but also to get better, would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so see, here's the same thing. You don't have to come, but if you want to get better and stay on the team and eventually become a coach, you need to come to every training.
Okay, but I thought this opportunity allows you the flexibility to,
Absolutely allows you the flexibility. So let me ask you a question. If you went and got a part-time job, how many hours would you have to work?
I don't know, like 15, 20
15
hours.
So let me ask you a question. 4 hours a week is too much?
I guess not.
So doesn't it make sense to make every training?
Yeah.
Plus, you said you want to be able to know what you're saying when you go see people, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't come to training, how are you going to learn that? Got it? I wish we could fire people when they didn't show up, but I can't. I mean, I'm thinking of making that a rule in my office. So I could do that. Go ahead.
Do I have to talk to my friends and family?
Do you have to talk to your friends and family?
Yeah.
Okay, is that a concern?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't wanna burden them, you know.
You don't want to bother them?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying? Let me ask you, David, if I sat with somebody that you knew and saved them 50% on their car insurance, is that bothering them?
No, but they know what they're doing financially. They're all set.
They're all
So,
set.
Yeah.
Dave, you know what? I thought the same thing. I thought my parents were set. My parents had life insurance. They had investments. I thought they were set. And what happened was I had my trainer come through the training appointment for them, and we saved them. They had $50,000 each of life insurance, paying over $200 a month. When we sat with them for less than $200 a month, we gave them $300,000 and $200,000, and I thought they were set. My father-in-law is an accountant, makes very good income. He had the wrong insurance, paying too much. We saved him money, and I thought he was set. So what happens if we sit with somebody you know, and maybe they're not as set? Let me ask you a question. If you had the cure for cancer and you knew somebody in your family had it, would you want to tell them?
Absolutely.
Today America has financial cancer. So why would you not want to help your friends and family? You feel better helping strangers? Who do you love more, the strangers or your family? I would think your family.
Yeah.
So let's go see them. You gotta just get them to feel a little bit dumb. Go ahead.
Do I have to recruit?
Dave, do you have to recruit? Let me ask you, do you want to recruit?
Not really. I mean, I just want to make some money.
Okay. Well, listen, you don't have to recruit. If you like, you could sell all day by yourself, and you could make some money, but you'll be at 25% if you do that. But if you decide to recruit and give some people the same opportunity that you're getting, you can make more money. And eventually, they could be selling in maybe your home, and you're still making money. Which one sounds better?
Home and making money.
So that you see why you need to recruit?
Okay. Why do I have to get my partner involved? I can make decisions by
Without-
myself, yeah.
Okay. Well, next question, would you consider this a pretty big decision to decide to come on board?
Yeah, but
Okay.
my partner trusts me in
Okay.
what I do.
That's fine, and I'm glad she trusts you.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question. If you get really excited and you're doing the right things, or you feel excited, but every time you go home, Joyce has no clue what you're talking about, don't you think she'd want to know what you're talking about?
I mean, I can explain it to her.
Okay,
You
you
know,
explain
as
it
I
to me right now.
Yeah, I'm still, yeah, I don't know. As I learn, I'll explain it to
Well,
her.
Dave, let me help you with something. My partner's involved in the business, and all I know is when she got involved in the business, our business doubled. So the thing is, she didn't come on board for about a year of me being into the business. But what if your spouse came on board soon?
But you don't know Joyce. She's not the type of person that'll do something like this.
That's great. I don't want her to do this. She doesn't have to do this. All I want her to know is know what you're doing. Because I'm sure Joyce has friends that may be able to use your services. But if she doesn't know what you do, how is she going to know what to tell her friends? At the same time, it helps you for training purposes, David. Remember we talked about 4 appointments, 4 training appointments, so we can help you qualify for that bonus?
Yeah.
What if Joyce can help you with that? Wouldn't that make sense?
Yes,
So
so
let's at least go do a practice presentation. I'll do the talking, just explain to her what we do, and then we take it from there. All right?
guys, any other objections that you guys have as that you've heard from new associates, that people that are on board? Any common objections? No?
I've been involved in these kind of businesses before, and I basically, everybody I ever talked to, everybody I ever knew, I made a list and gave all my names away, and I don't have any friends left to talk to about this business.
You're saying you have no friends left because you talked to all your friends about it?
Well, about all the other businesses I tried, like this one, it seemed like this one, it seemed like,
Network marketing, blah, 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 blah,
right,
blah, blah.
product based, they sometimes call it something, when you call it something different.
So what if you called your friends and told them it's more about financial advising?
I think the thing they were saying, well, this is your next new one, right? See, so what makes this any different than the last one?
Well, the challenge is that happens with a lot of guys like you that do so many different multi-level. I'll be honest with you, it's a tough time. There still has to be a few friends you have that are be willing to get you started. Or really the second best option for you is forget you trying to recruit them, forget you trying to get them involved in the business. What I would do with those friends is refer them to coach, and you refer them as a client, saying, hey, this is my financial advisor, he's been helping me with my finances, I want to refer him to you because maybe he could help you. So that way what will happen is you're referring coach as the financial person, coach gets in there, sees them, where they take you, and then what he's going to do is create interest, maybe get some clients, create some referrals that now are people that don't know what you do. So see, what you got to do is you got to create your hot market, give it to a financial guy like coach or your teammate, so he can create a new hot market or lukewarm market for you. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it, because unfortunately, because if you tried 5 or 6 of these, guys that I've recruited that have done that, you've lost a ton of credibility. Like your cousin Jajit, he does a new one every week. Every time he calls, you're like, all right, well, what do you got now? I give that to him because I'm like, dude, you call me for a new one every week, I'll be willing to help you if you stick to one. But they don't. So that's going to be your challenge. So the only way around it, the best strategy is you make your list, and now you refer. Coach, you can send a quick text. Hey guys, I sat with a financial coach, man. He's put my finances in an unbelievable order. I definitely think you should sit with him. So it's not you that are saying it's your business. You're referring coach because he's your financial guy. Then coach goes in there, talk to some people, and then he'll get some people involved for you. That's the way I would do it with you. All right. So coach, I would do that. Financial coach text.
Anybody else have any other objections as far as a recruit? Coach?
Not an objection as much as a strategy, and I know this has worked because after 4 years, Fanny and I are kind of going back around, and we're using one of the things that you use a lot of times is, David, I know you're not interested. I already know you know what I'm doing, you know what I'm talking. However, I got to tell you, things are going extremely well, probably better than I thought they would. And I know, David, I know you're not interested, but has anything changed in your life? Anybody that you know might be interested? I take it right away from them. I know you're not interested, Dave. However, do you know?
Sure.
And 3 out of 4 are going to say no things, but you're going to get that 1 or 2. And I think that's what we're talking about is objections. And what Carlos talked about at the beginning is even in most sales, 2 out of 3 people are going to say no. They may say no politely, like, oh, I'll think about it. They're saying no. So, but that one that hits can now drive you to 10 or 15 more. So, following Carlos's lead, take it away, talk to the people that you've already spoken to, and really take it away. I know you're not interested. I know this isn't for you. However, and then use whatever you want to say. What has changed in your life? Who's gotten married? And then you go through the list. Who's got married? Who's had a child? Who lost their job? Blah, 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 blah. And if you get 1 person, you're going to get 2, and then you're going to get 4. And just build.
I think what's also important is, as we ask these objections, we're asking you guys, are there any other objections? You'll notice that there aren't a lot. I used to think when I first came into business, there was like 1,000 objections. I can't answer all of these objections. But if you notice, it's really a handful. We asked like 6 objections, and we can't come up with any more because there aren't that many other objections that someone's going to face. It really boils down to a few handful of objections. So if you can answer it the way Carlos can, with those few objections, I think that's really what will find you that success. Go ahead.
Carlos before said, you know, write down a list of all your questions. Let's get together, and I promise I'll answer them all for you. Maybe the new people can't do that, but you could point to your leader and say, write down all your questions. I'll sit down with my vice president, and I guarantee you'll be able to go over all those questions with you. If you don't have the confidence to personally overcome the questions, you can set up something up with your leader to do that with them.
Right.
You can have
Yeah,
the confidence
our
to say,
confidence.
yeah, exactly.
Kurt.
I remember one time when I was prospecting, I was trying to, she told me that there is another company called Equus something, that she told me that they do similar services to what we do, and I didn't know how to object to that, like maybe we could have offered something better, but.
Well, there's a lot of companies that do financial services.
Yeah,
And you say, great, that's absolutely, but let me ask you a question. Walmart and Kmart are similar, aren't they? But sometimes you find some things you like at Walmart and some things you like at Kmart. So what if you sat with us and I could give you something that maybe what they're giving you can't get? Yeah.
Well, one of my friends, she said that, the kids, she didn't have time. I think she would be good with this, cause she do have young kids, and, she just got married not too long ago. But her excuse is, I don't have time, I got the kids, I got the job, and.
You're trying to recruit her?
Yes.
Well, I would do is this, guys. When people have younger kids, don't try to recruit them right away. Get them as a client first. Get in their house. And then from there they see the value and let your leader recruit them. So what I would do is say, hey, listen, I know you have no time to come see what we do, but listen, I need a favor. I'm going through some training. I need to see a training presentation, especially now you have kids. You're the perfect clientele type of appointment. I just need you to kind of see what I do. Let me show you what I do with my trainer so I can learn. And get an appointment instead.
Well, I was trying to get her to come here on Tuesday.
Yeah, go see her.
And that's why it was two of them. Now that the two, I did make an appointment with one of them, you know.
So get the other one to do an appointment. Guys, when people are married and got kids, it's harder to get them here. Like, let's say you called Sarah to try to get her here for a Tuesday night. She wasn't in Primerica. It's going to be a lot harder for you to get Sarah than for you to come see us. So sometimes you need to learn how to strategize. Got me? Strategize that, hey, families are better to go see. Young kids you get here, I'm not saying you can never get families here too, you can, but if you see that there's a difficulty, say, you know what, let's do something else.
I did.
Let me come see you with my trainer, because I need a training presentation anyway. It's going to help me to get certified. You're my friend, right? You'd help me get certified, wouldn't you? Sure, great. So I'm going to come by and see. Because that would be the art situation. With my two little guys, to find a babysitter coming here Tuesday night, if I really don't know what it is, I'm not going to find that babysitter. Unless I really know it's that good, then I'll find the babysitter. But since I don't know yet, if you say, hey, listen, you know what, make it convenient, we'll come by you. And you know what, I want to see the baby, bring you a gift. Boom. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna get into.
You got a
Oh,
question?
no, sorry.
Coach.
You haven't gone through the appointment ones yet.
Yeah, I'm going to the appointment ones. Okay. I'm gonna go into appointment setting. Okay. So as you're trying to schedule the appointment.
What's up, Coach?
I just, one of the things, and I think what we're doing is fantastic, as long as we all understand, something that Glenn had told me, and I listened to the Josh Hoffman, I think we all should understand, I think you guys are making great points, and the point that you made, there aren't a lot of objections, but what Carlos is excellent at is getting to the real objection. And you do that by understanding that their first objection is never the real objection. What Carlos does is he acts stupid. Tell me. He gets his people to talk, and then he listens. And it's very important to understand that the second, third, or fourth reason, once you get your client or new associate or prospective associate or client to talk, once you do that, really listen. They'll tell you what the real objection is. It might be, has nothing to do with time, has nothing to do with guests, has nothing to do with friends, has nothing to do with and I don't know what it's going to be, but you will find out. And Glenn turned me on to the Josh Hoffman. It's this never, ever the first objection. Second, third, or fourth, ask for questions, get them to talk, and then really listen for the real objection. It's probably the second or third objection. That it's the real one that's stopping them from doing whatever they're doing. So I think what you guys are doing, as far as the words, but there's a mindset that Carlos and Dave are going over that you really have to kind of buy into.
Okay. So as you're trying
Can
to.
I interject?
Yeah.
I must say I was very much impressed with you because you look for the key point to rebut and then you just got crumbled and it couldn't
Corey Pacquiao.
Yes, I saw you going. The key is a key word in his second question that you pick up to rebut him, and then he was endless. So that was awesome.
That actually comes from Tom Hopkins.
Yeah.
It's called a ghost. That first initial objection that Coach was talking about, that Carlos was talking about, that's a ghost. You can't grab onto anything. There's nothing to grab onto with the initial objection. So through the questions, he's finding out what is the major concern or objection through asking questions. And then, like I said, that ghost filters out to just a few handful of concerns
Oh, I
or
got a
objections.
good one. Sorry for.
You have an objection?
Yeah, great one.
Go ahead.
I hear this all the time. Oh, I've been to one office before. I did this in another office in Hasbrook Heights.
So you've been to
What's the
Primerica?
difference between this one and that one? I went to the Hasbrook Heights office.
So you went to the Primerica office in Hasbrook?
Yeah, I went to the like 3 years ago. I signed up. I was with this guy, but I didn't want. The guy was really. He said if I didn't recruit like 100 people the first day, like he wasn't gonna work with me. And,
Okay, when you signed up?
yeah,
and
that was
how long
like
did
3
you
years
stay?
ago. Like 3 years ago.
How long did you stay?
For like a month.
A month, okay. Well, the
So
difference
why
is
should I go
this.
to Lodi?
Let me ask you a question. What, you like sports?
Yeah, of course.
What's your favorite team?
New York Giants.
The Giants, okay.
Yeah.
Who do you hate?
The Eagles.
The Eagles, right? But they're a good team too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But who's a pretty bad team right now?
Bad team? The St. Louis Rams.
The Rams are pretty bad
Yeah.
right now, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think this year, okay, would you rather play for the Giants or the Rams?
To the Giants.
For the Giants, right? And the Rams would probably be pretty bad to play football for them, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. We're top 5 in the nation, top 50 in the country. It's like playing for the Giants versus playing the Rams. So if you came to my office, I could show you the Giants. Would you be interested in that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. So let's do that.
Man, I like that one.
Or this one. I know all about Primerica.
Oh yeah, what do you know about Primerica?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, a friend did it before.
Oh, your friend did it before.
Yeah.
Well, what do you said you know all about it? What do you know about it?
Yeah, that you guys do finances and mortgages and all that. Not for me.
What's not for you?
Just the whole financial.
What are you looking to do, Carlos?
I don't really know.
What do you currently do now?
Work at Burger King.
You work at Burger King? And what do you do there?
Flip burgers.
With Burger. Okay. How long have you been doing that?
About 2 years.
Okay, what do you like about that? What don't you like about it?
Like the sound of the
Guys, listen up. What don't you like about it?
The hours I go home smelling like onions and the pay sucks.
So the pay sucks, you hate it, you smell like onions, and the food and the hours suck.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you gonna do different to change that?
I don't know, I'm looking for something different.
So you say look for something different. Isn't financial services different? So if I could show you how to be in the financial world, a more professional world, where you wear suits and ties, smell like cologne, have flexible hours, you can turn more money, wouldn't you be interested in that? How old are you, Carlos?
I'm 19.
19? Carlos, you're 19 years old. What do you think you're gonna be by the time you're 26? Do you even have a clue?
No.
I joined Primerica at 22. At 26, I was running my office making $100 grand. How many guys you know in your neighborhood that do that?
No, not many.
Not many, right? So who would you rather work with? Those guys that don't make any money, or the guy that's making 200 grand right now in his early 30s? So do you really know about Primerica? It sounds like you don't know anything about Primerica. So why don't we get together? Let me show you the real Primerica. All right.
Nice.
Master surgeon. All right. That's what it is, right? You're just dissecting it, right? All right. So we're gonna get into appointment setting. As you're trying to schedule appointments, these are some of the common objections you're gonna run into. I'm not interested.
This is making a phone call, or
You're making a phone call, trying to schedule the appointment.
is this a referral of top 25? What is it?
Let's just basic. You called someone that you know in your top
In
20.
your work?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not interested?
I'm not interested.
What are you not interested in?
I'm not interested in sitting down with you.
Okay, Dave, I understand what you're saying. You're probably a little bit hesitant, just like I was. I actually was a little bit hesitant when they called me to sit with me, but I was able to save $2,000 a year on my car insurance, which I had no clue I was overpaying on.
I know, but I'm set.
Like, you're set?
I'm set.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
I'm good. I have everything.
You have everything, right?
Yeah.
So did I, Dave. I thought I was set too. I had car insurance, I have life insurance, I had investments, but I was able to save $2,000 on my car insurance, I was able to save $50 a month on my life insurance, and my investments, I didn't realize how poorly I was investing in. They're invested it better. So don't you think maybe you might have the same situation?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very busy though.
You're busy?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If we could only grab 30 minutes of your time and save you maybe 50 to 60% on your insurance, maybe change your financial future forever, make you hundreds of thousands of dollars, isn't that worth 30 minutes?
Perhaps. I'll talk to my wife.
You talk to your wife about it? Okay, when can you talk to your wife about it?
When she gets home.
When does she get home?
Tonight.
Tonight? Okay, so Dave, I want to do this. Let's kind of pencil in something. What's better for you and your wife? Because if I could, listen, Dave, I don't want to waste your time. All I'm asking for is 30 minutes. If in 30 minutes I cannot change your lifestyle completely, financially, substantial value, then kick me out of your house. But what if in those 30 minutes, like I said, I could change your financial future forever? Wouldn't that be something you'd want to at least explore?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure we're going to take a serious step with this. I want to pencil you in right now. What's better for you, weeknights or weekends?
I don't know. Weekends are better, but like I said, let me talk to her.
All right, but weekends usually you're together with your wife.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to do this. Right now, this Saturday and this Sunday, I'm going to give you my times. So when you talk to your wife, tomorrow when I call you, you have a set time. If she says this Saturday, I could do something either at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. If she says Sunday's better, I could do something at 4 or 6. You want to write that down?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
You sure? I didn't hear a pencil. Can you write that down, please?
Yeah, I'll talk to her and I'll get back to you with
No,
that.
I'm going to give you a call tomorrow. That's okay.
All right.
So I want you to talk to her tonight, and I'm going to call you tomorrow, David, and let's come up with a time frame. Now, David, I'll be honest with you. If you're really not interested, let me know now, because I don't want to waste my time. Because I could give that 30 minutes to somebody else and save them money.
All right, you can call me tomorrow.
Take it away. Like I did that with some lady the other day. She's like, "Oh no, I'll come. I'll put me in the schedule." Listen, sometimes you have to. Don't be afraid to lose an appointment. See, you're so afraid to lose the appointment because you don't have any, right? But if you start playing the mindset that I'm not afraid to lose the appointment, sometimes you have to push people a little bit to get them, and sometimes you need to take it away to get them. Because it doesn't matter what you say. You could be the nicest person. If they're not interested, they're not interested. You could be pushy, and if they're not interested, they're not interested. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes you gotta it's different jobs you throw, right? There's different hits, right? There's different plays. Sometimes you throw the right hook. Sometimes you throw a little jab. You decide what you want to go for.
And if you notice, it's a combination of objections because the first objection that I gave him was what?
I'm not interested.
I'm not interested. That's like you walking in a store and someone says, "Can I help you?" You say, "No, I'm just looking." Right? It's just it's a blow off, right? So that first objection, as Coach mentioned before, that's the ghost. And then the second objection was what?
Busy.
I'm busy, right? And he overcame that objection, and he asked questions. My third objection was what?
I gotta speak to my wife.
And he talked to my wife, right? So if you notice, really,
That's
what
so
was
true.
the major? If you see the breakdown of the actual dialogue of the conversation, he like I said, it's like a master surgeon. You're breaking down the actual main concern from that initial big blob or that ghost that we could not decipher what it was initially, right? Iona?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
At what point did you feel rejected that he was trying to get rid of you? And you grab him back and say, "This is important." I think he slammed you that you don't want that's your problem. When he says in the last time, that's what I construed, that he tried to say, "Well, it's your call." Then you're so desperate to find out what he has to offer. So in the final analysis, when he rejected you. And then you grasped it, and then you responded, "I'll take the appointment." That's what it meant?
Yeah,
The last time?
for me, and I'm trying to play, obviously we're playing devil's advocate
Yeah.
right now. I'm trying to look at from the mindset that if someone else called me and they're trying to schedule an appointment, what would be the the progression of the conversation? And I'm trying to come up with, like I said, the logical objections that I would instinctively come up with. And when he said, listen, can you write it down?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, all right, this guy's serious. And I'm going through the psychology of it myself. Initially, I just kept pushing off up until he said, can you write it down? And I honestly, I felt like he's really serious about the time commitment.
And you gotta really say, like, I've got on the phone where guys try to give me stuff, and I'm saying, listen, I'll tell them, listen, honestly, just so you know, I do very well in this business. And I tell them, I'm making a very good income. Your one sale is not gonna make or break me to pay my mortgage. But just so you know, if I sit with you, it's probably gonna make or break you for your financial future. It's your call, you tell me. I don't need to waste my time, I don't wanna waste your time.
Right.
I know if I sit with you, I can give you a future value forever. Cause you have to have that mindset.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? And I've done that with people where I say, hey, listen, just so you know, I don't need your sale to pay my mortgage this week. Just so you know that. I know if I sit with you though, I can probably save you thousands of dollars for the rest of your life. So there's more value for you than me.
And I think it's the mindset from Carlos, guys, that you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't make $200,000, and maybe I do need to make my mortgage payment.
But I had that mindset as a district.
Right, but that's the point. It really is. I mean, it's just a mindset of how you're approaching it. That we always say, you have the cookie.
Act
right?
as zip code shots, fake it till you make it. I had that mindset as a district, which is what gave me success.
Guys, we're gonna move on. We have a few other objections with that. Can you mail me some information?
Yeah.
So you want to mail you some brochures and information?
Yeah.
Dave, absolutely, I can definitely do that. But let me ask you a question. What do you do with brochures and mail you get that you get at home all the time?
I'll read it. If you send it to me, I'll read it.
Dave, I totally understand that. Listen, I'm going to send it to you anyway. But to be honest with you, I know that most people don't take the time to read it.
Yeah.
A brochure is a brochure. And really, what is a brochure going to do for you?
I don't know. It'll give me a better idea of what you're talking about.
But would you want a better idea, or would you want the exact idea?
The exact idea.
Okay, so if I just grab 20 minutes of your time and show you the exact idea and hand deliver the brochures, and then you can read them all you want afterwards, wouldn't that be better?
Yeah.
So let's grab 20 minutes, man. You ain't gonna read them.
I already have a financial planner.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Great. And how long have you had them for?
It's been, family. My parents were using them. Now I'm using them.
But how long have you been using them?
10 years.
10 years? Okay, great. And when's the last time you spoke to your financial planner?
Last week.
Last week you spoke to him?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome. So you're pretty happy with them?
Yeah.
Okay, so what rate of return have you been averaging?
I don't know.
You met with him last week and he can tell you that?
I mean, we're discussing other things. I know my investments are pretty taken care of.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
I invest in my 401k. I've got a pension coming. I'm pretty good with that.
So based on the rule of 72, what are you gonna have? Do you know what the rule of 72 is?
No.
Oh wait, he didn't talk to you about that.
What is that?
Well, that's the number of years it's gonna take before your money doubles. Don't you think that's important?
Yeah.
And your financial planner didn't go over that with you? In the analysis that he did?
No.
Wouldn't you wanna know?
But I'm pretty good.
Okay, what's your
Yeah.
FIN number?
My what?
Your FIN number.
What's that?
You don't know that?
No.
Wow, we really need to sit down now. That's your financial independence number. That basically means how much money you need to accumulate so you can retire. So I'm not sure what kind of financial advisor, and listen, I'm not saying that he's not good, but would you agree your finances are pretty important?
Yeah.
And knowing how much money you have and when you can retire, would you consider that something important for you?
Yeah.
Would you also consider knowing how much money you're going to have for college important for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were going to get heart surgery, would that be important?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, would you get one opinion or would you get more than one before you got heart surgery?
I get more than one.
More than one, why? Just to
in
be
case.
sure, right?
Yeah.
So why would you not get more than one opinion on your finances, just like heart surgery? So what if we stop for 30 minutes, let me show you what we can do. Maybe some of the stuff you have is great, but what if I could show you some things he hasn't shown you? Like the rule of 72, like your FIN number? Aren't those things important?
I guess so.
What's your debt to income ratio? Now I'm gonna get like fancy and smart with him, so he thinks I'm really smart. What's your debt to income ratio?
No, I don't have any debt.
You have no debt? You have a mortgage?
What a liar.
What a liar, dude. Oh, you're spot.
I do.
Jody do have
So
No,
if you have a
no.
mortgage, how do you say you have no debt?
Well, besides that, I don't have any credit card debts or anything like that.
But mortgage is debt.
Yeah.
So what's your debt to income ratio? I mean, if you look at the economy right now, in the past 5 years, people's debt to income ratio on the mortgage was horrendous, which is why they lost their houses. And I'm not saying you're in that situation, but you at least want to know where you're at, right? Where do you stand based against everybody else?
Yeah.
So Dave, let's grab 20, 30 minutes. I think I just gave you some ideas you've never even heard of. If you have a financial advisor for 10 years, he's never mentioned any of this? Wow. Let's get together. Just throw some, none of them know Rule 72, none of them know their FIN number, none of them know their debt to income ratio. Because financial advisors don't do that, and some of you are doing the same thing. You're selling life insurance and they're doing FNA. So they're going to call your guys, and you're going to get screwed.
And everybody reserves their right to be a bonehead, as they say. So there are going to be some of those people, despite how smooth he is with that,
Absolutely.
they're just going to say, no, you know, I'm just busy. Even if he overcomes that, no, you know, I'll do it later, I'll call you back, whatever, and they'll just keep blowing you off. But that's not really a legitimate objection that we talk about. That just...
Again, nothing's 100%. Even me. Sometimes people will come to me, Carlos, I'm bringing this person to you because I know you can close them. If they're a bonehead, they're a bonehead. They don't have much up here. There's nothing I can do. I'm not a psychologist.
Even if they're angry,
Yeah.
like,
What?
even if they're angry, like, when you overcome their objections and they're starting to lose, like, at one point, like, alright, buddy, I'm not interested, and, or when you keep, like...
Then
like,
they're not, they're not. Then you move on. Next.
7 billion people in the world.
The numbers.
What's up, Herbie?
How many objections would you overcome if it is a bonehead?
You can feel them out. It's all up to you how much time you want to waste.
Right.
Sometimes I do it for fun, because I have
Right.
fun doing this, okay? I remember I had one kid one time who goes, can I watch you make phone calls? I said, all right, come in. He goes, I want to just hear you make phone calls. So I was doing it just for fun. I think I overcame 15 objections in one phone call. I did it just for fun. You know, and the guy was a bonehead. He came to the out meeting that day, but I was just having fun. So sometimes if I want to just have fun and play with them, do as many as you like. Some of you could do as many as you like just to practice. In the beginning, I wanted objections. I was like, just give me objections. I want to get good at it. So it's all up to you.
So we're
People
gonna...
do get pissed if you overcome them.
Now I don't waste a lot of time. Sometimes I won't even overcome the first one. I'm like, all right, whatever. Next. Depends on my mood.
We're gonna move on to the to life insurance. When you're sitting across the kitchen table,
Yep.
and these are going to be the most common life insurance. There's a lot of them, but I'm gonna pick out some of the highlights, some of the important ones. I'm already covered through work. I've got life insurance through work.
Awesome. So you have some life insurance through work?
Yeah.
Dave, congratulations. I definitely I like that you have some through work. How much do you have through work?
Like 5 times my salary.
5 times your salary?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Usually most companies only give 1 to maybe 2 times your salary. So you have 5 times?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Okay. Just so you know, teachers and cops usually have the best deal, and they have 1 to maybe 3.5 times their salary. So I'm not sure how you're getting 5. If you're getting 5, that means you're probably paying for the other part. Do you know what you're paying for that?
I think something a little bit comes out of my paycheck.
What's a little bit?
I don't know, like $13 or something a paycheck.
$13 a paycheck is about $26 a month.
Yeah.
But for how much coverage?
Yeah, like I don't know, like 5 times my salary, I think.
Well, you're probably not paying for the 5. They're probably paying for a portion. You're paying for the other portion. So you really don't know how much you're paying for.
I guess not.
Okay, so wouldn't you at least want to know that? So what if we sat and make sure you're paying the right amount? Because what if I could show you how to get, for the same $26 more, maybe 6 or 7 times your coverage? Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah.
And also, by the way, what you have at work is great, Dave, but what happens when you leave your job?
Well, they said I could take it with me.
Well, what could you take with you? Not all of it. They pay part of it. They're going to give you what they paid?
No.
And if you take that with you, wouldn't you have to pay for it?
Yeah.
So what if it's like $100 a month? That'd be pretty expensive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So what if I could show you how to do it for less?
Okay.
So why don't we get together and see exactly what you have, Dave? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Anybody want to add anything?
Sorry, Dave, I'm interject. I also indicate to them that when they transfer probably 15 years, the age difference gonna have them pay more into the insurance. So it's best to create their own now, because I know once you convert, it's gonna depend on age, you know, if you decide to.
I sat with my friends yesterday, and they're like, because they have insurance already with us, and they're like, oh, well, we got some extra through work. It was really cheap.
Correct.
So let me see what you got. Universal Life Group. So it sounds cheap. It's $9, $12 a month right now. I'm like, do you understand? And I showed him. My friend's a pretty smart guy. I said, look, cost per thousand. He's like, oh shit. He goes, I never saw that. I go, it's gonna go up every year, bro.
Correct.
I go, so why would you keep that? And then I showed him for $36 a month how to lock it in for 20 years with more coverage. So I was like, you're already paying 11, and if it goes up every year, if we look at it in the next 5 years, it's gonna be more than what you're paying now with us. So he's gonna switch it.
I done had this insurance for a long time.
You had it for a long time?
Yeah, I
And so,
done had this insurance for a long
so
time.
you feel pretty loyal to it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're afraid to lose what?
And it's a whole life policy. I didn't have it for a long time. I'm saying one of my friends said to me, okay.
So you say you had it for a long time, you don't wanna lose what you put into it, right?
Right.
Okay, so if I could show you how to get more coverage for less money and get some of that money back that you're gonna lose if you never get it, if you never surrender it, would you be interested in that?
Yes.
Okay, so, and again, that's gonna
What I
be
did.
more numbers.
Okay.
That's gonna be showing them the value.
Okay, that's what I did on life insurance. Now, on the car insurance, I've been with this company for a long time. They're very dependable.
Mhm.
So I know if I had an accident or something happened, I know they'll take care of me.
Okay, awesome. And which company is that?
That was Whole Life, MetLife.
MetLife, awesome. Okay, well listen, MetLife's a great company. Well, so you know, we market 20, 25 different companies, and all of them are rated A+ companies. And I understand you're saying that they're really reliable, but don't you think there's other reliable companies out there also?
Yes.
Absolutely, right? So what if I could get you a company that's just as reliable as Met, because that's what we're going to do a comparison, but save you money. So, because today, isn't it important to save some money today? If I could save you substantial, I'm not talking about $2 or $3 a month. What if I could save you 30, 40% on it, okay? And then show you just the same exact thing with a reliable company, would you at least want to explore it and see if they're even out there?
Yeah, but I've been with them for a long time, over 20 years.
Let me ask you a question. You have a DVD player?
Yes.
Did you have a VCR before?
Yes.
Why did you keep the VCR for 30 years instead of getting a DVD player?
It's more up to date.
It's more up to date. So what if I could show a more up to date company?
That's dependable and reliable.
Yeah. Let's at least explore it. Can't guarantee you, but let's explore it.
Nice.
You guys got that?
Yes.
Is that pretty awesome?
Yes.
Right now, and this is this one sometimes you might get when you're starting to do the F&As and stuff. Right now, I'm interested in starting on the investment program first, and I want to think about the life insurance and get back to you later.
So they don't have life insurance, they want to do investments. Dave, I totally understand what you're saying, you want to get the investments going, right?
Yeah.
But Dave, let me just cover. My job is to be your financial coach, right? Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Now, if I was your doctor and I prescribed certain things for you, okay, and I said you need to take this first and then take that and then take that, but you wanted just to take the third one and not the first one, do you think that would be the right move?
No.
That would be the wrong move.
Yeah.
But Dave, that's kind of what you're telling me right now. See, remember we talked about the financial house?
Yeah.
What's the foundation?
The life insurance.
And right now you have none.
Right.
So how could you build the roof with no foundation? See, because Dave, two things happen, and I break that down. Right now, we could live too long or we could die too soon. God forbid something happens, Dave, both need to be covered. If I just let you do the investments, right, and you start with $50 a month, Dave, right, God forbid something happens to a year or two from now. Because do you know when you're going to die?
No.
You don't know, right? It's any day, right? You could be here for the next 40, 50, 60 years, as well as we could be gone tomorrow, whether it's me or you, right? Does that make sense?
Right.
So if something were to happen and you're putting $50 away, let's just say you did it for 12 months and God forbid you passed away in 12 months, what's your wife going to get?
600.
$600. But what if we put $50 right now and we covered you $500,000? And God forbid something happened to you 12 months from now, just like it happened a month ago in our office. We had a lady in Maryland sit with somebody who had $100,000 of life insurance. We were able to give him $500,000 for 56. The guy died basically within the year. The wife got $500,000 instead of $100,000 of life insurance. Wasn't that a good move?
Yeah.
Right now you're at zero. Wouldn't $500,000 be better than zero?
Absolutely.
So can you see why we need to start with the foundation?
Okay.
I need to do the right job, Dave. I'm not going to let you do the investments first. See,
Correct.
I'm the financial coach, not you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I need to protect you and your family because I look at your two kids right now, I look at your wife, and look at them for me. Is it important to protect them?
Yeah.
So do you want me to give her a $600 check or a $500,000 check?
$500,000.
So let's start your protection right now. There's no way to say no to that one.
You could always ask
And his
the
wife's
wife,
going to
too.
beat him if he says no. But that's why it's important to have the wife there. That's why you're the financial coach. See, there's always someone selling. Either you're selling or they're selling. Somebody's getting sold on the phones, everything. It's up to you.
I want to talk to my agent before I switch plans.
You want to talk to your agent?
Yeah.
Now, this guy has what? Whole life?
Whole life, yeah.
Okay, so you want to talk to your agent. Exactly about what, David?
You know, what you talked to me about.
To confirm it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, Dave. Listen, this is what I would recommend. Instead of you talking to your agent, because I know he's going to lie, okay, because that's what they do, I'd rather you talk to your agent with me there.
But it's my brother, so.
It's your brother?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have known this prior to though. I would have to know the whole scenario. I don't know.
He wouldn't say that normally if it was a friend or a family.
So this is a friend or a relative?
So it's my brother-in-law.
It's your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Coach, can you? I want Coach to do this one.
Yeah.
Do the thing that you did with Vicario.
Oh, okay.
Listen to this one. This is a good one. Coach gave me this one the
Alright,
other day.
Dave, one of two things happen now. You understand the difference between whole life and term and invested difference.
Yeah, I mean
You
now
see
that
the
you.
value of term invested difference and the whole life,
Yeah.
right? Now, I'm not saying your brother did something bad for you, but one of two things happened. Either your brother-in-law didn't know the difference and isn't sure about it, or he knew exactly what he was doing. Now, which of those two people do you want to deal with? Somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, or somebody knows exactly what they're doing?
Mhm.
And either way, the whole life you know is not good for you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, now which of those two people do you want to deal with in the future? Somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, or somebody knows exactly what they're doing?
Someone that knows exactly what they're doing.
And screwing you. See, he knew, or he didn't know. Either way, you don't want to deal with that person that's selling whole life. The other thing I do is this. David, I understand, and I've done this with clients. I said, listen, if you call your agent, they've already sold it to you. They're going to dance again. Why don't we do this? And I got this from Carlos. Why don't we together call the company? There's an 800 number, which is usually 24 hours. And you're not going to get an agent. You're going to get a representative from that company who's probably not licensed. And it's happened 100% of the time. It's happened with, when we call, the client is there on the phone, and I call, and I say, hi, my name is Nick DiDomenico, I'm with Primerica Finance. I tell them straight up who I am. I said, I'm with David Kim. David Kim has a policy with you. You're on speakerphone. David's going to ask you some questions, and then he's going to hand the phone back to me, okay? I want you to verify that David's there. Blah, 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 Dave, okay. Now, I'll ask the questions that we all know, the four. I said, with the flexible, I said, this person is told, David was told that his policy only has to be paid for so many years, and then he doesn't have to pay again. Is that true? Yes, it is. I said, so you're telling me that the premiums stop and they don't have to be paid anymore? No, no, no. I said, oh, so the premiums are being paid? Yes, they are. By who? Well, by David's cash pay, and then you get into the whole thing, which we don't have to do today. So if you're, even if it's a brother-in-law, and I'll say to this, listen, I'm not looking to hurt anybody here, and I'm not saying your brother's a bad person. I'm saying that the policy, that's all we're talking about. The product that you now have, David, is not good for you. That's a fact. I've showed you the difference, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, here too with the brother-in-law, the brother, you always say, hey, listen, I want to give the benefit of the doubt to your brother. Maybe that's what he's trained to do, okay, and he can't sell the other product. But Dave, now that you understand both, is it more logical to do term?
Yeah.
Okay, my recommendation is this. Forget what I'm saying. Forget what your brother-in-law is saying. Like Coach said, let's call the 1-800 number. Let's call right now customer service who's got to tell you basically the truth about it. Why don't we do that instead, and you get your full answers and make sure that you're comfortable with what we're saying here. And I would have to do it that way because you have a brother-in-law. I mean, you don't get too many brothers, though, that do the term thing.
And guys, you got to understand that, don't think that if you call, you're going to get something different than what you're hearing here. Because Carlos and I had that conversation about belief. Believe me, and I haven't been doing this as long as Carlos, I've never made an 800 phone call where I got something different. You understand?
Meaning what we're saying is true.
Yeah, what we're saying, what you're hearing here, whether it's whole life, universal flex, that's garbage. It's not just, it's hurting people. It's hurting people. They're at 50 or 60 years old. They're okay. When they hit 65, 70, and 75, they're dead in the water. They're dead in the water. They are going to have $1,000 or $2,000 a month policy that they're going to be covered for, or they're going to end up going from a $300,000 policy to a $5,000 policy that they're paying $800 for. It's ridiculous how bad these policies are. So make that 800 call. Absolutely make that call. You're going to have such a confidence when you hear them say, you're going to feel like Carlos on the other side doing training. Those people are going to give you the answers that we're hearing here. You gotta believe it. Gotta believe it. Then what's best is seeing your client's face when they go and they go, oh my God. When you get an oh my God from your client, closed, done.
So, I hear what you're saying about the term insurance, but what happens after my term is finished? Do I get my money back? And does the price go up?
Okay, and again, this is gonna have to be with numbers, which is the best way to really sell this. But again, so Dave, basically right now you're spending $100 a month, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it for $50 a month, David.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you like to buy your whole life is that you had some cash value, am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and you had the coverage. But now I'm gonna give you $500,000 versus $100,000. I'm going basically on his age. At 30-something years old, he'd be paying $100 for $100,000 in whole life. With us, he'd pay $50 for about $500,000 and left $50 left over. Okay. So Dave, I'm now gonna give you $500,000, $50, right? And that other $50, we're gonna take and invest the difference, David. So if we invest it right now, then I run a financial calculator, $50 a month for 30 years. What is that gonna be? I don't know, maybe.
Well, 600 times 30, 18,000.
Might be like 250.
250,000. Okay. So Dave, the cash value that I'm going to build you, I'm just going to do it separately. It's going to be worth $250,000. So Dave, when the 30-year term is up, we have two choices to make. Okay. One is you have $250,000 in cash value, which is your money. Take it and run with it if you like. Okay. Isn't that better than what cash value you promised now?
Yeah.
Okay. The $500,000. Now your kids are out of the house. Your mortgage is paid off. And you have no credit card debt. So you really don't need life insurance anymore, Dave. But if you want to renew it, you can renew the policy. Yeah, is it going to cost you a little bit more? Absolutely. But at this point, if you already have $250,000 of cash, do you still really need $500,000 of life insurance?
No.
Not really, because now you're self-insured. So maybe we drop that to $250,000 to $150,000, and it costs you probably still less than what you're paying for your whole life now. Wouldn't that be a better scenario?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Guys, you know what's amazing is I got some of these objections from a manual that the company gives out. The manual that they used to come out with was called Overcoming Objections. And the answers that Carlos is giving is almost textbook. It's like exactly what those answers are.
I've read that book. More than once.
It's unbelievable. We have this one. I want to shop and compare and get some quotes.
So you want to get some quotes, David?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right now you're basically going to shop based on price. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, and so is price your biggest concern?
Yeah, I mean it's the main one of the main concerns.
It's one of the main concerns. Yeah. Okay, so I think when you look at any product, right? What are you looking at? You're looking at the quality.
Yeah.
Right. You're looking at what kind of value you have.
Right.
And you're also looking at price, aren't you?
Right.
So what's more important for you, price, quality, or value?
I mean all three of them.
All three of them. Let me ask you a question. I know all three of them, but would you want to buy something cheap with no quality and value?
Yeah, but insurance is just insurance, right? Like car insurance. I can go get car insurance if it's $300,000 deductible. I can get it at any company. It's the same thing, right?
Well, it's not the same thing exactly. Let me ask you a question. When you look at our term, just so you know, we have a couple special features. Ours has a guaranteed insurability. What does that mean? That means 20 or 30 years when the term is up, you're guaranteed insurance regardless of your health conditions. Most other companies make you re-medical. That means 20 years are up, now you're 20 years older, you have to re-medical and prove that you're insurable. But what if you're not? Would you want to go with that company where you have to re-medical, or one that says, you know what, since you've been a client and been a client for 20, 30 years, we're going to let you renew without a medical? Isn't that a big value?
Yeah.
We also have something called a terminal illness rider. God forbid you had terminal illness like cancer or something, and you could prove that from doctor's notes, we could give you between 40 to 70% of the money up front. So like right now, we have a client actually that is looking to cash out on their terminal illness because they have a terminal illness right now and they need some extra money to maybe cure themselves. Would you want to be in that situation and be able to have that cash?
No. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be in this situation, but you at least have the option to get the money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, most other companies do less than 40% or maybe 10 or 20. So is that a big value gap?
Yeah.
So we also don't have a war clause, David. During September 11th, only 4 companies paid with no questions asked. Primerica, which you're sitting with right now, National Benefit Life, which we own, MetLife, and USA America. We're the only 4. Everyone else has a war clause. They don't even have to pay. So what if you're paying the same or less, but all of a sudden another World Trade Center type of situation happens and you can't even get your money, or your family can't get your money? Would you want that?
No.
So even if it was cheaper, is it really better?
No.
So okay, so you want something with value, quality, and price. So if you're going to go shop around, you need to find everything I just said.
So if I find something like that?
Just so you know, so far, every client I have sat with tells me they're going to go find it. And none of them have been able to find every single feature. So you can go do the research, David, but most likely you won't find it.
Okay.
So why waste your time?
So,
And in his age group, we're very competitive. David, if maybe you find one cheaper for $2 to $3, you're not going to find all three. Is it really worth the time to save $2 or $3 a month?
No, I guess not.
Because his age group, I know we friggin' crush. The 30 to 45 is our hot market.
And are you looking for insurance when you don't have any insurance too?
Say that again?
Were you going to be shopping around uninsured?
Oh, because he's got no insurance. You can throw that out there.
Yeah, it could be either or.
Now you need to know terminology. You need to know that stuff.
Go
You also
trainers.
need to know, like, I got this question, well, what's the difference between whole life and term?
Right. Well, that's the whole life versus term. The cash value, the four evils. You need to explain all that. I'm not gonna do that right now, but you guys have seen us do it. We just did a whole training on it on Tuesday.
I don't make snap decisions. I want to think about it before we get the life insurance.
Absolutely. Now you have life insurance or you don't.
Let's say we do and we don't. So, first scenario,
Alright.
we do have insurance.
You do have life insurance. Okay. If you do have life insurance, honestly, a lot of times I won't close it right away. I'm willing to come back. And I say, Dave, exactly, that's fine. But exactly, Dave, just so I'm sure, what exactly do you want to think about?
Well, everything sounds great, but you know, my wife and I want to talk about it.
Okay.
It sounds good. We just want to talk about it, and then we'll get back to you.
Okay, well, Dave, this is what I want to do. I'm fine with you wanting to think about it because you actually have some life insurance, okay? And you're protected right now. Now, again, if I'm making a big difference, like, okay, I'll give you an example. On Monday night, she wanted to, can I think about it and talk to my husband about it? I said, absolutely, I have no problem with you doing that. You could definitely talk to him about it. But let's just recap what I'm showing you. Right now, and I'll go over that scenario, okay? Right now, you have, you're spending, it was $287 a month, okay, for $200,000 on your husband and $250,000 on you. I'm gonna give you for, what did I close for? 267. No, 237. For 237, I'm giving you $500,000 on your husband and $250 on you. So that's double the coverage on your husband, the same exact coverage for you for $40 a month less. So do you understand that's what we're doing? Because when you go think about it, this is what you need to think about. This is what we're doing. Plus we have terminal illness rider, blah, 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 shoulder, all that. So what exactly is it that you want to think about when I compare it like that one? And I wrote it down. What is exactly that you want to think about? She's like, I don't know. She's like, so what do you need to do? I'm like, we just need to fill out an application and get you started. She's like, all right, let's do that. That was it. What he did is I broke down on a piece of paper, this is what we're doing, right? I wrote their numbers, I wrote our numbers. I wrote our price, I wrote their price. $40 less, double the coverage, $250,000, plus while you're thinking about it, by the way, you're keeping this one and mine. Something happens to your husband, you're gonna get $500,000 plus the 200, plus you get $500,000. So while you're thinking, at least you're covered for more. Wouldn't you rather think with more coverage? She's like, yeah. All right, so let's start.
Well, then I have to pay double.
Well, no, you're only putting one deposit, Dave, for with us. That's all you're putting. You're not going to pay us any more than just one deposit, okay? But if you put a deposit for $200 or $100 right now, and God forbid, David, listen, we have people apply Monday, they died Tuesday, September 11th. God forbid that was the case, wouldn't $100 be worth it for an extra $500,000? That's $100. So at least while you're thinking about it, we get you protected.
Okay.
All right? You have double the protection, yeah.
Kind of like the same question, but let's say somebody has like coverage through work 1 times, 2 times their salary, but then they're not sure if they have another individual policy or if they have more coverage at work. But that's all they have, is something through work, whether it's group or individual. We're not sure right now, we definitely know we're undercovered, but, let us think about it, let me find out what I have through work, and then we can get back together.
Okay, and again, guys, you're going to also have, this is where STAR comes into play, S-T-A-R. The S and the T, I don't care what you say, most of the times they're not going to close them right away. There's a lower chance of closing the S and the T. The A and the R, you can kind of push some objections, overcome them, and close them. Like this lady was an AR, so I knew I could close her. You know what I'm saying? S and T's, like yesterday, they're both S's and T's. For the extra insurance, they still want to see the F&A and get everything done. So I knew I wasn't going to push and close it yesterday because I already know that. So you have to, again, I don't know who you sat with, you got to feel that out. Don't think this is gonna close everything on the first night. It might have to come back the second night. But what you need to do there with S&Ts is now you have to give them a time frame. So say, Tommy, listen, I definitely appreciate that, no problem, I definitely want you to look at, but this is what we're gonna do. You understand you're underinsured, right? We can't let that be for too long, would you agree with me? We gotta get you protected as soon as possible. Okay, so if you don't wanna decide right now, I'm okay with that because you have some coverage, but what I want you to do is this. I wanna give you, today is Saturday, Tommy. Monday at work, I need you to get this information. And I want you to fax me the information or call me Monday after you get out of work. Is that fair? And so let's have a time right now. Next week, I have Wednesday or Friday available. What's better for us to get back together and make sure you're protected? So let's do Wednesday night. 7 or 8:30. What's better? So you gave them a time frame. Too many of you take that objection and say, okay, look into it, let me know. There's no time frame. No time frame, people don't take action.
Correct.
You have to coach them with time frame at least. So that's the way I would handle that.
Any other life insurance across the table objections?
Well, it's not as much an objection, but what I heard over and over from you is that the importance of buy term and invest the difference. Because if you take a client, you do a comparison, at the end of the day, you do close them on the insurance, and in the insurance, but you don't go back with the investment. A lot of times also people forget to do that side.
Absolutely.
And then when their agents like calling and say, oh, so you transfer from whole life to term, but you only did the term, what about the investment? You have nothing to compare, which
Right.
you did in the beginning.
Right.
And if they already have, if a client already has whole life, I know that's bad, but if you don't do the investment part
That's
of
bad
it,
too.
yeah. And I think that's a very important part that we need to also focus on.
And we're dropping the ball as an office on investing the difference.
Carlos,
you're not doing your part.
How would you feel if, because there's agents out there that if you're doing a comparison whole life versus term, let's say they're spending $100 on whole life. You come in there with term and you say, hey, listen, I can give you $300,000 of term for $100, right? A lot of people, what they're doing is they're upselling it and they're having the client spend $100. Let's say $100 is the maximum that the client is able to budget in their finances. So if their max budget is $100 and they got whole life, which is with the cash value, and you sell them a $100 policy for $300,000 coverage, they have no more money to invest.
Right.
So
What's better? That's where the F&A comes into play. Because this question is not the same answer for everybody, is what I'm going to say. Why? If I sit with Dave and Joyce, and this is their situation, but Joyce is maxing out her 401k. Dave's maxing out his 401k. He is investing somewhere, okay? But their mortgage is $250,000. They do need $300 versus $150.
Right.
So in that scenario, maybe we do upsell it. But if you're trying to upsell it because you want to just get more insurance and they're not investing anything else, you're doing the wrong job. But that's where the F&A comes into play. A lot of you don't do the F&A, which is why you don't know what you should offer the clients. That's where it comes down. So that's a scenario where you got to look at the whole picture. That's your job, is to look at the whole picture. And if you do the F&A, sometimes you can get bigger closes because you find extra money in the budget worksheet.
I have something to add.
Go ahead.
When I'm closing life insurance, let's say I have a client that they don't have life insurance, right? And they said, you know what, I don't need it right now. What I usually say is that if it was Carlos, I would ask him, Carlos, so you don't have life insurance right now?
No,
right?
I don't.
So let's say, what would happen if, God forbid, you pass away? What would happen to your kids, the house, and everything?
They have to sell it.
They have to sell. What's gonna happen to the kids?
My wife's got to put them in daycare.
Okay, would that cost you money too, right? Costs her money, right?
It's a lot of money.
Okay. Now that you know what's gonna happen to them, does that make you feel good?
No.
So it makes sense for you to get this life insurance, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm starting to understand what you're saying.
See, I basically asked him questions on what's gonna happen if he didn't have life insurance.
Which is good, because you're doing an emotional, now you're creating an emotional sale, and when the person really sits down, and what I would do is I would write it down. So she would have to sell the house. Okay, but what if that took 6 months to a year? What's the mortgage cost? What, $3,000 a month? What does your wife make? Not enough. So you're telling me she's probably gonna get foreclosed. What does daycare cost? 2 kids, $2,000 a month.
Light.
It's at least
Cheap.
$2,000,
It's cheap.
right? 2,000 probably. So like yesterday, my friends, they spend $24,000 a year on daycare.
Wow.
That's normal.
Yeah, it is.
You know, they make a good income, they own a house, they ain't gonna get assistance from the government for that. 24,000 a year is for their 2 kids to go to daycare. I spend $980 a month for my kid to go 3 full days, not to daycare, to a Montessori school. I'll be doing that for 2. I'll be $2,000 a year next year. You know what I mean? That's part of the process.
Guys, we're gonna wrap up with the last category, objections that we face trying to pick up referrals, guys. Okay, I think that's a key point. One of the things that I think we get a lot is when after you do the job, they'll say something like, I like to ask them, I like to talk to them first. Yeah.
So Dave, you said you want to talk to the people and refer them to?
Yeah.
Awesome, Dave. That's exactly what I want you to do. See, because Dave, I don't want to call your friend and they don't know who I am. I definitely do not want to do that. But what I'd rather do is this. I don't want you to explain to them what I do. I want you just to kind of, let me ask you a question. Do you text with your friends?
Yeah.
Okay, what if you did this? Because listen, I know you're going to call them and ask them, but what's going to happen is you're busy, I'm busy, you're probably not going to have the time to come around it. What I found the best thing with my clients is we do texting. But first, before I even go over the texting, let me ask you a question. Do you feel good about what I did for you tonight?
Yeah.
Are you happy that Joyce referred me to you?
Yeah.
What if Joyce never referred me to you? You wouldn't be that happy right now, right?
Yeah.
And what if you found out later that Joyce had this great financial guy, but she never told you about it? Would you be mad at her?
Yeah, I guess.
Right, if it affected you financially?
Yeah.
You'd be pretty disappointed.
Yeah.
But you're glad that she referred you, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're going to feel the same way. I promise to behave and do the same kind of program for them. Now, if they have something great already, then all I'm doing is reconfirming it, Dave, which sometimes that